to take a lot of last-minute flights. I went to the NFC Championship game to watch my beloved Atlanta Falcons play. But it was last minute. Obviously, they won the week before. I didn't know they were getting into the game. So I got the ticket the following day, and it was about 6 days in advance.
Right.
And I got it through I believe it was Delta. I got it through Delta. And so I show up to the gates, and mind you, I had to be in another, I had to be back to work on Monday, so I was only flying in for the day, and I was going to fly out right after the game. And I just went to Orbitz and tried to grab any, flight that I could. Cheapest flight, big deal. From Wilmington to Atlanta, 45-minute flight. Who gives a shit? Put me in row 93. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to the game. It's a 45-minute flight. Don't care. I get to the gates when I check in, and I was like, hey, I still don't have a seat yet. I put my card in the machine, and and I didn't fly.
Those fucking things.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on those goddamn things that never fucking work when you show up there. Oh, check in yourself. Just slide your card through the fucking thing and we'll fucking find you.
And then you go to the counter and you're like, well, can I just
talk to a fucking human?
No, you need to go back to the computer, check in there. Obviously, they're grooming us to only use the computers. But I'm like, but you're here. You're right here.
But here's the thing. The computer never recognizes your shit. Then you end up having to type in the Da Vinci Code for your flight. Oh, what's your destination city? What's your flight number? What's your fucking thing? If I knew all of that shit,
you'd be flying.
I would be Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, or I'd print out the whole goddamn itinerary and pin it to my shirt like I was a kindergartner explaining to the teacher what allergies I had.
Right.
Don't give me peanuts. I'm allergic to peanuts, soy, fucking fructose, whatever. Because that's the way we're being treated now, like we're some little children with this whole fucking game.
Definitely in airplanes. Like, that's the last place where you really get herded and treated like children.
I don't even know if herded's a word.
Hoarded?
Herded?
Herded?
Oh, herded, like cows. Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah, I think we'll go with it. If not, we'll throw the ED on there. And
they herd you in, and you're treated like children. Can you please put on your little seatbelt for no reason? Can you please turn off your phone for no reason? Can we please just put your seat back up? Why?
Oh, the baggage. And the baggage, it's like, we don't have enough room. We never have enough room.
We won't go down that road. But
here's the road we're going down. So they were like, no, sir, when you go through security, you're going to want to go to the gates and get your seat assignment. And I was like, all right, but I'm right here right now. You can't just give me a seat assignment. Oh, no. We can't do that. So the gate does that. The gate does that for you. And I was like, all right. It seemed kind of weird. So I go up to the gate at Delta, and they were like, oh, sir, we're not sure if you're going to have a seat on this flight. I was like, I'm sorry? Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. That's when it starts going off in my mind. Rally around the family with a pocket full of shells. And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, well, the flight might be overbooked. Same as this Asian man. And I was like, okay, the flight might be overbooked. That's great. But I bought a ticket. Here's my itinerary. Here's my credit card statement that I paid for this. What do you mean it might be overbooked? Well, some passengers might not get on. Great. Who are they? You might be one of them, they said. And I was like, I'm sorry? And I was flying in to go to the NFC Championship. There's no other flights. Flying to Atlanta for the game. Tickets are crazy expensive to go to the game. And I fucking lost it. So they bring out this packet. They were like, and actually, sir, we're going to need you to sign something, a release. And I was like, what?
No, sir.
Yeah. So they Delta prints out this, it was about 6 or 7 pages worth of shit. And I had to sign it. And I'm reading it as I'm signing this. And it's saying, if for whatever reason we decide to remove you from this flight, we're going to give you X amount of dollars and put you on another flight.
What if you don't sign it?
That's what I said.
Okay.
So I said, I don't want to sign this. And they said, you have to. You've got to sign this.
Or else
we're not going to give you a seat. And we're not even going to put you on this plane or give you the possibility of being on this plane. And this is a normal flight I booked off of Orbitz a million times because it's fucking easy.
Orbit's lives matter.
Yeah. So what I said to her at the gate was, I was like, look, if I don't get on this plane, there's going to be a fucking problem. She was like, what do you mean, sir? And I'm like, I'm telling you, you're going to have to call the fucking police and physically remove me from this plane. I was like, I have tickets to the NFC Championship. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And it literally is. It's only happened once in my lifetime. Yeah. And I go, you're going to have to physically remove me from this fucking plane if there's a problem with this. Because I've never had to sign a 6-page thing for tickets I bought on a flight. And the look on her face and the other dude that was standing there was like, oh, fuck. And they were like, well, your number, I was like, number 8 to get on. And I was like, why am I number 8? I'm not flying on standby. I bought a ticket 6 days in advance. Why am I number 8? And I was like, I don't give a shit whatever you have to do. You put me on this fucking flight, or I'm getting on the flight and you're going to have to call the police to get me off. And I can promise you, this whole shit's going to be fucking delayed for a long goddamn time. Magically, so I had to wait for everybody else to board. And then magically, one of the standby people, I was first instead of 8 of whatever this fake fucking list of shit there was. Sure. And I got on the flights. So this whole time, for like 30 minutes before, I'm panicking because I'm like, shit, am I going to have to rent a car to get there? Yeah. I'm definitely getting on this plane. I know the police are going to come.
Right.
Where am I going to be watching this game? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be from jail at this point.
Yeah.
So I get on.
Do they have TVs there? Are they HD? Like what?
Totally. And I'm anxious as fuck. But I get on, flight goes, and I make the game, whatever. This Asian man did not make this thing. I don't know if he had patience the next day. He said he did. He didn't make his plane. And you're like, all right, well, maybe this was a one-off situation. Maybe they changed the rules, or maybe something really fucked up happens. After that, the next week I'd fly to Salt Lake City for business. The same exact thing happened, only this time, it was for work, and somebody bought me a first class ticket. Then you get on right away. Everything is fine.
Sure.
But I saw a woman get pulled off this flight. They stopped the plane, and it was it was a connector to go back to Wilmington, and it was late, and it was like 10. And the flight wasn't getting until 11:30. And there's no other flights that night. She's staying in Atlanta. Yeah. She's staying in Atlanta for this because it was Salt Lake City to Atlanta. And she's staying there overnight. And they pulled her off the plane. Did
they have to pull her too?
Well, here's the thing. The plane was grounded. And they get on and they said, we're sorry, everybody. This flight has been grounded. We need to gas up. We need to refuel the plane. And I looked at the woman next to me, who's some super snooty fucking, champagne flute, like just a bitch. She's an a bitch, and that's fine. I don't give a shit.
Sure.
And she looks over, and I go, "Hey, does it seem strange to you?" And she was like, "No, they're gassing the plane. They just said they're gassing the plane." Yeah. And I was like, yeah, but I
trying to have a real moment with her. Yeah.
Exactly. Trying to have a real moment with the person on the plane.
No. That's what they say.
Yeah, they're gassing the plane. So I'm like, but I was like, I don't see a tank. I don't see anybody filling up the plane on this side. And I was like, do you see anybody on the, and I looked out the other windows. I was like, do you guys see anybody filling up a gas tank on the other side? And the other people were like, no, I don't see a tank. And I was like, why are we sitting here then? And we just kept sitting there for 45 minutes. Then all of a sudden, a woman comes on the plane with a list. I mean, it was old school.
That's happened when I was on the plane before, too. We were together, and we were both like, what is happening?
Yeah. But this one, this was a Schindler's List. They were looking for motherfuckers to pull off this plane.
Same.
So anyways, they get on the plane, and they were like, we think we've made a mistake, and somebody might be on the plane who shouldn't be on the plane. So they start calling one by one. They duck goosed us, dead serious, down the thing. We had to go over our name, who we were, the whole shit. And then they get to this one woman, and they were like, actually, when we called for volunteers, did you not hear your name called or whatever? And she was like, well, that was 45 minutes ago. Like the flight was supposed to have left. There was nobody there. Clearly there's an empty seat, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. But you're going to have to leave this plane. And she was attractive. This wasn't a 60-year-old Asian man. It was an attractive woman where you're like, whoa, This never happens.
Right.
What the fuck?
If you're going to make someone stay in Atlanta overnight, it's usually
you don't make
be
somebody
a dude.
attractive. Yeah.
You're
like
not
an
going to send
attractive
some
woman.
lady out
Yeah,
by
because let's be honest. In the world, there's nothing worse than when a supermodel dies. You know what I'm saying? Like
so sad.
It's so sad. Like that's.
She was so pretty.
Yes, and this girl was so. Anyway, I took a picture of her getting taken off the plane because I'm pissed off that I've got, and I know what's going on now at this point. Because this happened to me on the flight out.
You're like, oh, shit.
And I'm like, oh, shit. This is going down, and they're pulling somebody off this fucking plane.
Right.
So I took a picture of her, and since I knew they were probably going to stick somebody else on the plane, I kept firing away on Twitter with just a picture of this woman. And, I was like, why did Delta pull this attractive woman off the plane? I'm in tears. A lot of people around me are sad. We're writing letters to our senator. And, at this point, it was more or less like for my own like humor and my own like,
right.
oh, shit, this is going to be a fun thing because I know I'm going to be delayed. Then I see this guy get on the plane and take her seat. And so they were like, all right, great. Thanks, everybody. Sorry for the mix-up. The plane's now all gassed up and we're ready to go. And it was like, nobody gassed this motherfucker.
Like, we've gotten rid of the riffraff. Don't worry, everyone.
Yeah. Anyways, this guy gets on. And as the flight takes off, I was like, hey, man. I was like, just out of curiosity. Because he was like a row in front of me or right by me. And I was just like, hey. Just out of curiosity, because this has never happened before.
So
no one's
nosy.
ever stopped a plane for me before. No one's ever stopped a plane and been like, "Oh, what? Wait, we've got to wait for these one passengers."
Get him on here.
Yeah. And I was like, "How did you get on like that? This is pretty crazy." And he was like, "Oh man, I'm like a gold level medallion member." And he was just like, "Man, he goes," and he jokingly, like he was a cool guy. He was just like jokingly, it was like, "I guess the fucking commercials are true. Like the membership does have its privileges." And I was like, "What?
Gross."
What the fuck? And like, but he was joking, and obviously, like, he didn't.
So he didn't see what was happening.
No,
he didn't see that
because he wasn't on the plane. No, so he didn't.
Yeah, but he was waiting to get on.
No, but was he waiting to get on from a connecting flight, and he wasn't there when they were holding this? Like, that I don't have the answer for. So, anyways, somebody had told him afterwards, after my conversation, the person next to you, they were like, "Yeah, they actually took a woman off who was sitting in your seat.
Had a ticket.
Yeah, and was sitting in your seat." And he's like, "What?" And he was genuinely shocked, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't ask for that. Obviously, I didn't know." And he goes, "They just told me, like I ran toward the gate just in case, like, it was late or whatever." And he goes, "It was." And he goes, "Then they said they had a seat for me."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, and I had taken pictures and put this on Twitter, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So when this story popped up with the Asian man, not only this happened to me. To me personally, but then I had physically seen another woman that this happened to. So after that, I was like, fuck Delta Airlines. I'm not fucking flying Delta. Because I had another business trip like 2 weeks later after this. So I booked American Airlines.
Which is United, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think they're owned by United now. Like, I don't know.
Okay. We don't want to say that, but yeah.
Fucking thing happened to me.
On the American
one. Because I like to go through orbits. I like to go through the thing. And then I was like, man. And then again, if you go to the website and add up all the extras and all the fucking things, that $400 flight is now, $2,000. And you're like, God damn it, man.
What it's going to turn into is that you're going to have to pay that to guarantee it. So now every time people go, they're like, well, I got a cheap flight, but I might not be able to get on. And so it's like, it's going to become
that's what it's turning into. Or is it not? Because of what happened yesterday.
We'll see, I guess. But that's a gnarly thing. And again, you were saying with camera phones, it's like United.
Yeah.
Do you really think that you're getting away with it?
Exactly. There was a million camera phones and all this shit. And even on my Delta flight, which we're going to pop this photo in of this woman who got taken off the plane because I saw it happen. And I just I didn't know until this story. I didn't know this was a thing. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't. This is why I want to talk about this today, because a lot of people travel, a lot of people fly, and you're getting fucked by all of these airlines.
A crazy thing.
Yeah, where it's like there's all these fees and all this shit adds up just to guarantee a seat. Forget comfort at this point.
Right.
Just to guarantee a seat on the flight, where it's like, hey, motherfuckers, this isn't StubHub. Don't tell me that something is $200 and when I check out, it's $900. Like, just put the correct price on there. Something should be done.